Persona 5 released in 2017, Persona 5 Royal was released in 2019. Persona 5 Royal was then ported to Steam and Nintendo Switch in 2022. Finally, my opportunity to play Persona 5 had arrived. I'm not new to the Persona series. I have already played through both Persona 3 FES and Persona 4 Golden in the past, and I had an idea of what to expect from Persona 5. I know this video is going to come off as a review, but it's not meant to be. These are my first impressions of Persona 5 after a single playthrough, and hopefully I will make a follow-up video in a few years to see if my opinions change. To clarify what I'm talking about, when Skyrim first came out in 2011, it was hailed as the greatest game ever. But now these days, it's regarded as kinda boring without mods. Another example is Pokemon's 5th generation, which had a poor reception upon their first reveal, only for it now to be seen as some of the best Pokemon games to date. It's because of these shifts in opinions over the years, even decades, that I believe video games do need time to age. So I would consider this video to be part 1, with a part 2 retrospective video coming at a much later date. Also, I want to make it a tradition on this channel for my videos to end on a positive note, so I'll start with the negatives. Thankfully, there aren't too many to discuss. My first complaint is with the missed potential of the characters Mishima and Kasumi. Mishima feels more important than he actually is, and I wouldn't be surprised if early drafts of the story had Mishima become an official member of the Phantom Thieves. There is no denying that he does make contributions in helping out the main cast of characters in the final game, but it does feel like something is missing, as if something bigger was planned but never used. Then there's Kasumi. Don't get me wrong, I think Kasumi is great. I love this character and her story arc, but I think my appreciation for this character is also why the disappointment hurts. Kasumi's addition to Royale was one of the big selling points to this new version of Persona 5. For as much as she is advertised, I can't help but feel underwhelmed. Kasumi gets a lot of one-on-one time with Joker, which is fine, but I was really hoping that she would have more interactions with the rest of the Phantom Thieves. Kasumi does not truly become relevant until the final 20 to 30 hours of the game, and by that point most interactions involving her are the short conversations you have in Mementos. If Kasumi were to make an appearance in a spin-off such as the anticipated Persona 5 Arena or the memed on Persona 5 kart racing game, then I do think that missed potential will be realized. My last gripe with Persona 5 is the fact that you cannot revisit the dungeons or palaces after completing them. And I think this is really just me venting as a content creator. If I wanted to get background footage of the palaces, I would need to start a second playthrough, which I think goes against the point of this video being about my first playthrough. There is a narrative reason why the palaces disappear after completion, and I am accepting of it. But I particularly wanted to talk about the palaces because of the environmental storytelling that they provide. Thankfully, there is somewhat of a workaround this, and that would be the Thieves' Den. The Thieves' Den is a space where you can see your achievements in-game, look at character models, and even customize the den itself. You can customize the den to mimic the aesthetic of any of the palaces. One of my favorites being the pyramid, where the hieroglyphs on the walls are replaced with binary code. Another one of my favorites is the tower, and its overabundance of white, with one of the few sources of colors being the apples, pertaining to an Adam and Eve motif. There is one missing detail from the Thieves' Den's version of the tower: white doves, which are seen as symbols of peace and freedom. If you watched my Zelda video, then you know I have an appreciation for visual narratives, and Persona 5's Palaces has plenty of it. When it comes to visuals, most people praise the game's art style and how it's incorporated to the UI. There is no denying that the UI is gorgeous, but I found myself gushing over the transitions. When you enter a battle, there is a paper rip transition. Loading screens feature a silhouette of Joker crossing your screen. When buying items from the doctor or the gun store owner, their character model transitions from 3D to a 2D silhouette. Or maybe the silhouette is 3D and the game just does a really good job at hiding it. These kinds of transitions I would love to replicate in my own video, but I'm not at that level yet. Except for the paper rip transition. That one I can do. But probably the most important aspect to any RPG is the story. And I was planning to make a separate video about Persona 5 story because there is a lot to unpack. Ultimately, I decided to not go through with this for two reasons. One, Persona 5's story is centered around issues in Japanese society, including corrupt politicians, a corrupt justice system, corrupt businessmen, karoshi, collectivism, and some other heavy topics that YouTube would not want me to say out loud. I think it would be disrespectful for me to pretend that I understand Japanese culture when my education regarding the country comes from other YouTube channels such as Asian Boss and Let's Ask Shogo. And the second reason is the YouTuber, Lady Virgilia, makes excellent videos regarding Persona 5's characters and villains and how they reflect real-life events and social standards in Japan. Go check out her channel. The last thing I want to mention is the music. The Persona series has always had great music, and Persona 5 is no exception. I'm no expert in music, so I just go off by what I find pleasing to my ears. You've already been listening to some of my favorite tracks in this video. But if you are curious, then here is a list of what I thought were the best tracks overall in Persona 5. Beneath the Mask,
Where have you been? Been searching all along, confessing twilight on and on, without a clue, without a sign, without grasping it. The real question to be asked: where have I been?
Price, I Believe,
I believe we can fly up in the sky. One day we may just be able to touch down on the star. On the road we have to go. The romance path we shall proceed until the end of our roads. There's no turning back for us, 'cause we will never give up.
The Days When My Mother Was There, Ideal and Realism, Gentle Madman, Freedom and Security, and Throw Your Mask Away.
But it doesn't have to be like this. Don't sleep through dreams that can't come true. No more tears shall drop from your cheeks anymore. You want me to strive for greatness. Believe in me that you don't need to suffer from
But otherwise, the entire soundtrack's pretty good. Overall, Persona 5 Royale left very good first impressions on me, and I think it is worth a second playthrough, but definitely not anytime soon, since this game is already long enough. If you made it this far into the video, then I want to thank you for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.
Don't sleep through dreams that can't come true. No more tears shall drop from your cheeks.